Charlottesville cop just made shocking admission about Riot, proves it was set up. And once again the cards start to fall. It's now being reported that a week later, one law enforcement officer from Charlottesville, Virginia has taken the brave step and come forward to reveal the truth about all the mayhem and carnage that ensued at last week's rally that turned deadly once the Antifa showed up with bats, knives, and pepper spray to demonstrate against other people's First Amendment right to free speech. The peace officer went on to confirm that this mess was all a setup planned as far ahead as last May. The unidentified police officer said that the Charlottesville Police Department was specifically instructed to bring the radical left and white supremacist groups together to spark a flame of violence. Once they did this, they were given the order to stand down once violence ensued in a deliberate effort to ignite a race riot. Please keep in mind that this story is just now breaking and it is in its initial stages. The details may change since they are still coming in. It hasn't been 100% proven to be true, but seeing as to how the liberal globalist George Soros and his army of media and political whores are trying to get President Donald Trump thrown out of office, this really isn't an unbelievable scenario. Your Newswire reports. A Charlottesville police officer has come forward to express his anger at being told to stand down by the city mayor during violent clashes between protesters. He also claims the protests, which pitched white supremacists against members of Antifa, were set up to further the agenda of the elites. We, Charlottesville police, were ordered to bring the rival groups together. As soon as they were in contact with each other, we were told to stand down. It was outrageous. We weren't allowed to arrest anyone without asking the mayor first. We weren't even allowed to stop the driver as he sped away. The event was being set up as far back as at least May, and it went like clockwork. Michael Siner, the mayor of Charlottesville, ordered police to stand down during the most chaotic and destructive period of the protests, despite police protests against the orders. We wanted to do our job and keep the peace. But these mothers in charge really want to destroy America. This revelation is huge, and if true may implicate Mayor Siner and possibly other city officials in the death of a citizen. Fox News reporter Doug McKelway was on the scene in Charlottesville and he backs up the police officer's claims. I can say, having been in Emancipation Park from early on that morning, that what I saw with my own two eyes confirms what this law enforcement source told us. At least from all visible appearances. We saw people coming out of that park who had head wounds, who were bleeding from the head, people walking into that park with bats, with sticks. You saw what they were wearing, helmets, body armor. They had come, and this pertains to both sides, they had come to do damage. You cannot help but notice from that video that police had been more proactive. They could have potentially calmed this thing down to some degree. Here's McKelway's initial report upon landing on the ground in Charlottesville. Remember, this is long before these new revelations, when neither he nor anyone had the slightest idea some dirty tricks may be afoot. To cut directly to the chase, fast forward to the 2:40 mark of this 3:51 long video and listen to what the reporter says. As wounded were being brought out of the park, police were sitting idly by. Now why would the cops, sworn servants of the populace, be just standing around while citizens are bleeding right in front of them? Could it be because they were given specific orders to render no assistance in an effort to let tensions fester? The globalists just can't fathom how the American people were smart enough to see through their deceptions and say, enough is enough, not in our country. That's the real reason an outsider like Donald J. Trump won the presidency of the United States of America. And if these Soros and his globalist goons don't knock it off, they might end up waking a sleeping giant. Come on, Soros, I know you are not an American, but you must know our history. And if it teaches you anything about us, it's that you don't want to piss us off. Just ask the British, Germans, or even the Russians. We don't lose once the people wake up. And your millions won't be able to save you from millions of pissed off Americans knocking at your door. So just take your globalism back to the wimps in Europe. Thank you for watching this video. What do you think about this? Share this on Facebook and Twitter along with your comments.